squash that we're going to dry and use in the winter, and we just have a lot. I'm sure if you've grown squash, you know that like all of a sudden you have tons of them at the same time. And I mean, although we use it a lot when we cook, I'm not that big a fan of it. I don't want to eat it every day. I think that's a little boring. So just drying it and saving it for winter. Pick these really long beans, a lot of them, and I'm going to dry them. And we have a lot of other beans as well, so I'm actually going to mix. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm going to mix all the different beans together and dry them. I've never tried to cook with or like use dried beans, like these type of beans, only like the actual bean inside, but not the whole pod. But last winter, Yohong and I ate a lot of these dried. And it's delicious, so it's a good way to use them, because now it's just too much to eat. It's about half of the beans I just picked, and definitely the biggest harvest of the year. Tack så mycket, Sansan. And it's all gonna dry, So first we just put it in boiling water for a couple of minutes, and then tomorrow we left out in the sun to dry. Tita, Sasan? Come on, Tita. Today I am picking all the, what are they called? Today I'm picking all the radishes, and I'm gonna dry them. Look, so cool. It's the coolest radish I've ever seen. Now that I've washed all the radishes, I'm gonna actually go inside because it's really hot outside. I'm gonna sit in the living room, watch a movie, Harry Potter, and shred them. I don't know if that's what it's called, shredding them into little strips. And then put them in salt. After that, dry them. Oh yeah, actually after you put them in salt, you kind of squeeze all the liquid and then you dry them. a lot. actually really difficult. You need a lot of strength to get all the water out. I'm doing my best. This is a lot of liquid. Okay, so the results of our drying. First out are the squash. So I dried some outside hanging from a metal string, and these are the ones that are a little bit more yellow. A lot of people here say they're supposed to be this white, so I'm not sure if all my outside drying was a waste, who knows. But then we dried some inside on a blanket in our kind of glass veranda, would get really dry and hot as a sauna during sunny days. So those are all white and good to go. And then the beans. So I did 2 experiments, my mother-in-law did 1. And I did boil them first, just as they are, and then I dried them. And they all lost their color, which is really sad. They're just kind of brownish, yellowish, don't look very appetizing. And then we have the ones that I boiled and then cut into smaller pieces, which I think will be easier to use, but also don't look very nice because I boiled them first. And then because one day our stove wasn't working, my mother-in-law dried some without boiling them, and they kept their color, so they're all nice and green. But then some people say that if you don't boil them first, it will contain some sort of toxic, and that's, I guess, what we're scared about, so that's why we haven't made more of them. But if they're not, then that would also be the nicest way because they look nice. And then we have the radish, which just looks like this. I will make a video probably sometime in November or so, explaining or showing like some different ways to cook with this, because before I moved here I did not know how to cook with dried bean, dried squash and dried radish, and thinking maybe some of you also don't know that. So I'm gonna make a video when it's a little bit colder and less fresh vegetables in the market and in the garden. That's when we will start using this and we'll see the results of it.